Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, 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 Rama 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 Ram. Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki Sarvam Yogi Ramsuratkumar Arpanamastu. With deep gratitude, we shall offer our pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagwan for one more session of his Divya Nama Sankirtan. This is no small grace that we are able to gather, sit in one place for 1 hour. And concentrate on the name and the presence. A great blessing. Our grateful pranams to Bhagwan. We have been going through some drops from the ocean of grace, from the ocean of Leelas. Today there may not be any story, but there are some interesting conversations between Bhagwan and devotees. Once, Shri Ganeshan of Ramanashramam asked Bhagwan, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, he said, for ages and ages, there has been only one truth. All the scriptures of all the religions declare without any doubt that there is only one God. In which case, why do we have so many scriptures? The truth is very simple. There is only one truth. There is only one God. Why do we have so many scriptures? And again, when the truth is only one, the God is only one, why do we have saints, sages, and avatars from time to time? What is the point in all these things? Bhagwan smiled and said, yes, the truth is only one. There is only one truth, the truth. There is only God. There is nothing else, no one else. And it's true, there are many, many scriptures, many, many religions. And what's more, there are saints, sages, and avatars. He said, the scriptures, the Upanishads, the Vedas, they declare the truth, the way of life, based on dharma. And do you know, Ganesha, why we have so many saints, sages, avatars, as you call them, here in India? It's not so in other countries. India abounds in great souls. Do you know the secret? Do you know why this happened here in this land? Because the Vedas, this Indian soil, is rooted in Vedas. This is the Vedic land. But the scriptures, the truth expressed in scriptures, they are beyond the understanding of a common man. The language, the cryptic language, and the way they have been said is beyond a common man. There's no way he can understand the truth of God by reading those Upanishads. Beyond him. The truth has to be expressed in words. The truth has to be embodied from time to time for people to see clearly there is God, a God-man, a great master. He lives the highest truth. Everything about him, the divinity about him, his every look, every word, every step that he takes, every gesture he makes, they express this constant truth, the truth of existence of God. The divinity is very clear in a God-man for everyone to see. It expresses itself as grace, as blessings. The God-man adopts this truth and lives it every moment. Everything that he says and does will reveal this truth vibrantly. in a way even a common man can understand. A common man may not prostrate before a Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, scriptures. But the minute he sees a God-man, there is something vibrant about a God-man, and intuitively, even a common man knows something, and he would prostrate before a God-man. These godly men are expressions of the highest truth. The only expression, the immediate expression of this highest truth is compassion, grace. And this language of compassion, men understand. These great masters are able to give God in a certain form, in a certain name, in a certain language, which people could easily decipher, could easily understand. The simplicity and profundity of a godly man express visibly. When Adi Shankara came and declared, Aham Brahmasmi, I am that Brahman, I am the ultimate truth, I am the formless, changeless, pure awareness, Aham Brahmasmi. When this is written in a book, who can understand it? The book has a form, the scripture, the writings have form of letters, but the meaning is lost to a common man. The disciples of Adi Shankara who gathered around him had glimpses of this ultimate truth in Adi Shankara. They got the hope that they too could become a great master. It's possible for a man to become a God-man. It's possible for a man to know that he is God, to reach the level where he understands he is only God. Shri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa came, intellectual giants like Swami Vivekananda gathered around, and without having to read those scriptures, just by being with Ramakrishna and the vibrant presence of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, they understood this great truth. They had glimpses. They had visible demonstration of the one divinity that expressed itself constantly through Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Again, when Sri Raman Maharishi had come, Kavya Ganta Ganapati and other people, they had been exponents of this Vedic Shastras, Vedas, but what they could not understand by even going deeply into Vedas, when they came and sat in the presence of Raman Maharishi, they could understand intuitively. It was there in the form of Raman Maharishi, the ultimate truth. Raman Maharishi embodied this ultimate truth, the Param Brahman. He sat there. They understood this is Brahman, and that this state is within reach of everyone who longs for it, who tries towards it. So Bhagwan continued to say that only these great masters who have become one with the truth, who live, who are established in the highest truth, can reveal it to people in a way they understand. So this has to happen. And that's why so many great masters come down to this particular land, the Holy Land. And then he whispered, "This is our land, our holy land. This is the land of great masters. India is the land of great masters. It's a playground of the great masters." And he went into peals of laughter. Swami Vivekananda used to say, the very air of India is holy. The land of India is holy. And there is a very quotable quote, a very interesting quote of Vivekananda, which Bhagwan admired very much, which never failed to draw peals of laughter, cascading laughter from Bhagwan. I believe when Swami Vivekananda had gone abroad, there were people who attended his lectures, and they had this question constantly. Why is that India is not so developed? Look at America, look at Europe. The progress of science and technology, the army, the education. But India is a poor country. Why is it not developed in the way the Western countries have? You speak such high truths, lofty truths. Then Swami Vivekananda said, you want to know what India is producing? They were asking, what is India producing? Look at our countries. Then Swami Vivekananda declared, what has India been doing for ages and ages? I will tell you. What has India been doing for ages and ages, except producing sages? So Bhagwan would quote and quote in many situations to many groups of people with his inimitable laughter, cascades of laughter. So in India, there are many traditions to suit the temperaments of people. There are many ways, many gods. Though there is only one God, there are many aspects to that. Each aspect is given a name. And it is Purna in itself. It's totality in itself. So Yogiji was saying that it's very necessary to have these saints, sages and avatars coming down to the level of people in order to give this great truth in a form that they would be able to receive and develop themselves. Because they are walking gods. One Phyllis, an American lady, has written that when We used to sit before Yogi Ramsuratkumar for hours and hours, and we did not know the passing of time. There was no exchange of words. Our eyes would meet. Our souls would unite. Something would melt inside me, and streams of tears would be trickling down. How could one describe the experience of sitting in the vibrant presence of the divinity? She writes all this. She says, for me, India is Yogi Ramsuratkumar. We cannot find adequate words to describe Yogi Ramsuratkumar. Nor can we find words to describe our experience in his presence. A sense of fulfillment would flood my entire being. In every pore of my being, there would be such bliss and peace. There was no need for any words. This understanding of the divinity, this experience of the divinity is what Swami was talking about. Many of us have had different experiences with Bhagwan, different visions of Bhagwan. Some of us have seen him as pure, dazzling, light waves of light from the earth to the skies, a pulsating, vibrant, living presence of light, the light of millions of suns. One cannot see it with physical eyes. You need special eyes to see this. One day, when I was sitting there in the veranda of Sudama, I have narrated this incident once before, and maybe many other times in many other situations. But it's worth repeating, worth recalling again and again. Swami was sitting there and smoking. The postman brought a parcel, and then Swami got it straight from him. He tried to open it, and then he could not do it, that's what he said. And he seemed very frustrated and irritated that he could not open the parcel. He threw it into my lap and said, Devaki, oh, this beggar is not able to do this. Then I thought it must be very complicated for somebody who was working at different levels at a time for the sake of the cosmos. I had seen him work. I had seen him in different dimensions. Though they cannot be described, as Phyllis says, because it's as Bhagwan would put it, most of this beggar's work is hidden. Seeing people and blessing them is only a small fraction of this beggar's father's work. So, when I was sitting there, when I had the parcel in my lap, I was thinking, okay, this must be very complicated. So I was chanting Yogi Ramsuratkumar, and then just touched that and did something, and immediately it came off. And here I was thinking, my God, what is this? On the one hand, he does such huge, tremendous cosmic work. On the other hand, He's such a baby, he is not able to open a parcel. Thinking that, I just looked up. What a baby. I did not even complete the word baby. What a babe. And suddenly, I was completely lost. There was no Yogi Ramsuratkumar with green turban and the traditional style of dhoti. No cigarette smoking. There was no body there. There was only light. And what light? How could we ever compare this light with anything that is known to us? It's written, it's described as Koti Surya Prabha, meaning millions of suns. We know how bright is the sun, one single sun. If you walk at 12 o'clock out, you cannot look at the sun straight. That was a light. The light is the nearest word to express it. It's not exactly seeing either. It's feeling. It is knowing and feeling the huge, vibrant, living, pulsating waves and waves of light. And there was only that. There was no earth, there was no Sudama, there was no me or him. There was nothing else, no one else, except this light. This was my first time, and I was totally lost in it. I could not have seen it with my ordinary eyes. Bhagwan was probably playing this Leela to accentuate the point, the ultimate truth, the divinity, the reality of the divinity, the formless, changeless, ceaseless presence. Not only me, there have been other people who have been expressing it from time to time, how they had seen Bhagwan in different forms of deities and sometimes in the formless light. This is one demonstration to give us a visible, deep experience of the truth, a glimpse of the truth. So, Bhagwan was saying that it's absolutely necessary that saints, sages, avatars, call them what you may, but they are the expressions of the highest truth, the visible expressions of the highest truth. Raman Maharishi said, there are no jnanis, there is only jnana. There is only knowledge. There are no seers. There is only the knowledge, the supreme knowledge, the pure awareness. The jnanis are Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Raman Maharishi, Adi Shankara, Yogi Ramsuratkumar. They're all like containers. Their forms, their bodies as we see them, they are housing the truth. The bodies are housing the truth, the ultimate truth. They live in the house of truth all the time, moment to moment, from eternity to eternity. Yogiji once said, declared, this beggar would be born again and again and again if he could even show this truth to one single soul. So that is the idea behind the appearance of these great masters who have made India their playground. And Yogiji, it's okay, we see the truth in the form of these great masters, but how do we get there? The highest truth is their experience still. It's not yet our experience. It is not yet our truth. Though we get a glimpse of it, we agree, we understand there is this truth. But then it must become our truth. We must be able to experience. We get glimpses, but we should get established in that. And then how do we do that? So different masters prescribe different ways, and Yogiji's main teaching is Nama chanting. For this dark age, when the mind is full of desires, the mind is wavering all the time. People are restless naturally. And there is so much evil, violence, and selfishness around. And in this particular environment, Nama chanting is the easiest and the highest path. Every time you chant the name, a quantum of divine energy is released inside you. And the job of this energy is to purify us. Every Nama, Yogiji said, not a single Nama goes waste. Every Nama does its transforming work. And what is this transformation? Remove all the bad thoughts, burn the bad karmas, so that we get less and less angry, less and less fear, less and less jealousy, less and less selfishness, so that at one point the ego would be completely uprooted. It is for uprooting this ego. It's necessary that we do this sadhana, and in Kali Yuga, the Nama chanting is the main sadhana prescribed, easily available to people. The Namas are vibrant presence of the divine. Every Nama. When you chant the name Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar is vibrantly present. He is present, he is promptly present inside us. It's just that we don't have the sensitivity to feel his presence. But it does not mean he is not present. That is why when we call out the name Yogi Ramsuratkumar in times of difficulty, his presence rushes to help. Nama means presence. The vibrant, living presence of the Master, the living presence of the divinity. And therefore, we shall resort to chanting the name and praying, because the presence knows. That's why Yogiji said, you keep chanting. When you keep chanting and chanting, there's no need to pray separately, because the Nama will do the needful. And what is Nama? Nama is Nami. Nami is the presence of divinity. The divinity has gone to sleep inside. So selfishness is ruling us. But this has to be awakened. This awakening can happen with the chanting of name, pronouncing the name. And so let us resort to chanting the name and submit our prayers. We have to pray and ask for things. It's only when we ask God for things they can happen at all. We have to invoke His grace. So we shall submit our prayers today at the feet of Bhagwan, who is here It is Achavataram, meaning the idol, it's not mere idol, it's not a doll, it's not a statue. Bhagwan, even while he installed it, he said, do not think it's a statue. This is my Father himself. And there's a constant flow of grace from this. His words. So Bhagwan, we appeal to your generosity and boundless compassion to intervene immediately in order to free the entire humanity from the clutches of this Rakshasic virus and bring back normalcy in every aspect of life, everywhere in the world. And Bhagwan, please enter all those vaccines